Did you drop your beer again?
No, you have heard
broken.
that. No, the episode I dropped the beer, it fucking exploded.
Yeah, I remember how loud that was. It was like uncharacteristically loud.
It was hilarious, though. I gotta say, it was one of my favorite moments. I feel bad that I blew up your modem, but... Welcome back to the Abyss, everybody. We got a brand new beer to drink from Talisman Brewing Company. It's called Iron Age Oatmeal Stout.
I love oatmeal stouts. They're one of my favorites, especially in the wintertime. Although winter is already kind of past. It's finally fucking warmed up.
Yeah, finally. But it's supposed to snow again next week. Because we live in Utah.
Snow. Yeah, it's
so
crazy over here.
It just snows as much as it fucking wants to. Without fail. So, this week, we're going to be wrapping up Tier 7 of the Conspiracy Theory Iceberg.
We've been going on this one for so long.
I know.
After that, we only have 3 tiers. That's
only
crazy.
3 tiers.
We're going to wrap this up at some point.
Some point in the next year and a half or so. But before we jump in, Cleet, I'm sure you've heard of this, like the theories that there are now aliens in our solar system?
No, I haven't heard anything.
You haven't heard that yet?
I don't watch TV, man.
I don't either. It's not like you don't get information from watching TV anymore. It's all over the internet. But you should Google it. Like, it's a real thing. Apparently there was they think it's a ship that was like seen and it's like dropping probes. It's really weird.
I'll have to check it out.
It's like bizarre. Like my wife was telling me, I'm like, oh, you're full of crap. She's like, no, it's a thing. And I looked it up and it's like Pentagon everything has said like they're dropping probes. Like it's an ancient life form.
Either they're trying to distract us, from the failing economy in America, or there is legitimately aliens and we're going to probably die.
Speaking of the conspiracy theory.
Like, dude, it's all a psyop, man.
What do you think? Like, what would your thought be? Like, 100%, what would your thought be if it really was aliens in our solar system? What would you first think?
Well, every time a more advanced civilization meets another less advanced civilization, your whole culture breaks down and there's always chaos and people die. Yeah. Every time that's ever happened historically within humanity through that purview. So we probably die.
Probably die. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like, I've said it a couple times. The dreams that I have about alien invasions are the scariest dreams I've ever had. But, like, thinking of, like, there's an actual possibility, it doesn't really scare me. I'm like, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah, there's no way there's not aliens, man.
Oh, there are, aliens. But in our solar system, like we've seen. That's the caveat.
Yeah. I'm going to have to look this up. That's crazy.
Yeah, you should. So anyway, just a little bit of alien talk before we dive into some crazy goddamn conspiracy theories.
Goddamn aliens.
But also, The Last of Us just ended last week. Really good. You should watch it.
Yeah, I won't. I'm not going to.
You won't. I don't even know why I recommend shit to you. Why do I even talk about it anymore?
Unless it's a movie, I'm not going to see it. Series, just TV series, they take like an investment that I just don't want to give. The last one I watched was Breaking Bad. It was good.
Breaking Bad is excellent.
Yeah.
If you're going to watch a series, let it be Breaking Bad.
Yeah, I actually watched the whole thing.
Say my name.
Heisenberg. All right,
cool. Well, let's jump into it.
All right, so we are jumping into the iceberg. The first one is going to be number stations. Number stations have been around since World War I, but the signals are said to actively haunt the airwaves after World War II. Since beginning of the Cold War, with the collapse of the Soviet Union, many expected these stations to disappear over time, but radio monitors indicate these signals continue to exist, with new ones surfacing every now and then, along with stations that have operated for decades. There are many speculations as to what these number stations are. Theories point to covert government-sponsored broadcasts for spies abroad, illegal activities such as drug trafficking, for various scientific research, and undisclosed military operations. However, to this day, no organization, broadcaster, or country has ever admitted to using these said stations.
Of course not. Why would you admit it?
And I actually have a recording we're going to play from an actual number stations broadcast. Here we go.
Oh, damn.
1 5 3 9 7 1 5.
I could listen to that all night. That would put me to sleep.
Imagine that, just having
It's like
a
a
ham
lullaby.
radio and you're just surfing whatever ham radio people surf, and you have that come in. Some weird broadcast.
Yeah. Those old number stations are actually, they've got a level of creepiness to them. Just that old distorted audio.
Yeah, it would creep me out, But if I had a ham radio, I'd just talk shit to truckers.
Those ham radio
Like,
groups
hey,
are
you
so
guys,
cool.
you're fat.
That's what you'd say? That's what you'd waste your ham radio?
Can you imagine being a trucker and you hear that?
Hey, man, you're
hey,
fat.
man, you're fat.
Happy Tuesday. Well, thanks, dude.
All right, the next one is the Everest Coverups. There is a belief that on Mount Everest is the entrance to Shambhala, or Agartha, the middle of the earth.
Hey, Agarth, that's where Hitler and the dinosaurs are.
Yeah. There have been several scientific expeditions from the USSR that were set out to find this location in order to get an edge on the US. It is unknown if they found anything, but it's interesting to know that the Russians believe in this enough to explore the mountain. There's also several sightings of the abdominal snowman.
Abominable. Did you say abdominal?
Yeah,
The chesty snowman.
chesties though. Or the Yeti, or the Squatch, or what other words are for Bigfoot? Bigfoot? There you go.
Bigfoot.
Yeah. Anyways, those sightings of the animal peaked in the 1950s as climbers would scale the mountain for fame and glory. It is believed that these creatures came from Shambhala or the hollow earth through unknown passageways. They are also said to be part of the disappearances and deaths around Everest. This means that some people don't actually die from exhaustion. Rather, they are killed or abducted and just thrown down into Shambhala.
Damn.
A little trash chute.
I think you just came up with our new mascot.
Yeah.
The abdominable snowman.
Could you imagine you're like scaling Everest and you just see a Yeti and he like opens up a rock and
just
there's
tosses
like
you in there?
a trash thing, like ventilation all the way down, throws you in.
He's like,
or
have fun
throws
with
your
Hitler,
pal in.
motherfucker.
Like, ah!
There's T-Rexes down here.
No one's gonna believe this. He threw my friend into a
Into a
mountain.
You ever see The Grinch? It's like the chute that goes all the way down to fucking Who Town. It's just like that, but it goes to the
Yeah,
center of the earth.
That's what it is.
No one's believing that. The Yeti threw my friend into a trash chute. Sure, buddy. Were you up there smoking some peyote?
Yeah, I remember when I took hallucinogens.
I remember my first mushroom.
All right. Right. The next one is the Tal Conspiracy.
You're a cow.
There's a conspiracy that paper towel. What? There's a conspiracy that paper towel companies are colluding with the U.S. government and maybe China to put in cameras and paper towel dispensers everywhere. Think about it. The government wants to keep an eye on its citizens, but cameras in the bathroom are considered taboo culturally. So why not secretly put them in without the knowledge of the consumer? This way, they can catch the hidden bathroom drug deal, or whatever else comes from the bowels of the bathroom.
Oh, God.
feel like
So
I
many
wrote
things
that.
come from the bowels of the bathroom.
You know, because the little red light comes on the paper towel
So it's
dispenser.
a camera.
It's just a giant-ass camera. Eh.
Man, it's like, dude, you just took a big old shit and you didn't even wash your hands.
This reminds me of how, when I was like 22, we put a big fake camera at my friend's party in their bathroom.
Oh, you told me about
the
that.
light. And people were like, it was just pointed right at the toilet. Like a full frontal view.
They're like, dude, that's illegal. You're like,
But if you're at a party and that's the only bathroom, are you going to use it?
I mean, yeah. I might just go shit in the living room, actually, in front of everybody else.
Shit on the couch.
Who shit on the coats? Well, there was a fucking camera in there. I'm not going in there. So we're going to start off with a fun one that states that all religions are the same. Dun, dun,
I mean,
dun.
sure, yeah.
It's pretty self-explanatory, but it really is the idea that all religions had begun with one event, and that over time and throughout different cultures, they changed, and the idea of religion began to change and adapt. And like if you look at most religions, they play off the idea of a god and the existence of a heaven or a hell and afterlife, so on and so forth, and you can seemingly follow the same structure, but they will differ depending on the type of religion that you're looking into. But
Yeah, like Thetas and auditing and Scientology, just the same as Christianity. Same thing.
right, but I mean, if you think of like the Anunnaki, right, the gods that came down from space or whatever, like every religion kind of plays off the same structure. So there are some theorists that state that every single religion is the exact goddamn same.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you had the volcano that exploded and all the souls came out. And then, Thetas and Scientology.
Yeah. So they're all the same. Let's just create a world church. And yeah, we're good there. Okay. Valley of the Lost Candles.
Ooh.
And it wasn't even like, if you Google Valley of the Lost Candles, you get fucking nothing.
I lost a candle once. Is that where it went?
Probably. But I had to do some digging. So it was a little tricky, but it led me to a film called Valley of the Dolls, which was actually released back in 1967. So this story depicts 3 women who are struggling to make it in the entertainment industry. And when they're in Hollywood, they have to give up pieces of themselves to some degree. So, typical Hollywood stuff. You have to give up your soul to live and, thrive. So the theories here state that it was essentially a peek behind the curtain as to what actually happens in the industry, which, again, I'm not really surprised about, like the seedy underbelly of Hollywood. But the big theory actually comes in the idea that some of the candles that they used on set of the movie were used in witchcraft and actually contained evil spirits. Now, after the movie was done filming, some of these candles actually went missing. And one of the biggest rumors was, Sharon Tate, the actress who died in the whole Helter Skelter massacre. Some people state that she died so brutally because she was involved in a film with these candles that were seemingly possessed.
There's a weird conspiracy around that. We might have to explore it. I was reading a weird documentary about it.
There's a lot of stuff revolving around the Helter Skelter
apparently, the person she was married to was into some weird stuff with her. Anyways.
Like Sharon Tate? Oh.
Like I can't remember exactly what it was, but her husband was really strange. I can't remember what it was, but it was...
We'll cover it.
It was on I saw it on either Joe Rogan or something else.
Oh, okay. Okay, and then I'll end my 3 with advanced cryptozoology. So cryptozoology is the study of and search for animals, and especially legendary animals like Bigfoot and the abominable snowman.
And the Thunderbird.
Yeah. Usually, in order to evaluate the possibility of their existence. So that's cryptozoology. The only thing that I could really find on the advanced version of cryptozoology is the belief that there are way more cryptids than the ones we think we know, and that they're on our planet, and that they simply can't be explained. Like, so much so that they're probably in everyday life, but because we can't physically comprehend what they are, we just don't see them. We don't know them.
Have you heard rods?
Rods?
Yeah. Like in the sky?
No.
And sometimes when people photograph things, they'll see what's called rods in the sky, which are supposedly these super
It's like the
fast.
chemtrails?
No. They're like organisms. They're really fast. But people dispute their existence.
Yeah, so that would fall into this. I mean, there's like a whole, it's like cryptozoology on crack, man. Like things that we can't see or comprehend, but they're there and they're all over the place. So, dude, you already tackled that beer?
I like beer.
Damn. All right, you're up.
The next one is Asians Overlords Triad.
Oh.
The kernel of this theory is that all organized crime exists for the most part with the unofficial approval of the centralized governments they reside in. This theory points to the fact that the Chinese government could stop organized crime if it wanted to do so. They turn a blind eye because it fits their political agenda, meaning they use these groups in order to influence indirectly or directly its citizens or to clamp down on them unofficially. It is believed that they use this group to target and take down its political rivals within their borders.
Interesting.
Yeah, but it also saying all organized crime in the world is like that.
So they could stop crime just like that.
Yeah, think about it, like the mobsters in New York. Like you could potentially stop them, but you could cut a deal with them. You're like, hey, I'll let you sell, alcohol. However, I need you to whack this person for me. And it's like an unofficial truce. It's an unofficial truce.
Hey, you're going to be sleeping with the fishes, you hear?
6 feet under. All right. The next one is looking at dark energy.
I do that every day.
Dark energy is just a crazy concept in itself. Dark energy is theorized to comprise of about 70% of the known universe. That is matter and energy. Everything we can see is just a vocal minority in the grand scheme of things.
Okay.
Dark energy is that repulsion that we see in the universe that we cannot explain, and it is responsible for the expansion of the universe. The expansion rate is growing faster and faster and may result in the Great Rip, which would ultimately doom us in the long run.
The Great Rip.
Dark energy cannot be detected by any of our instruments, and it is said that if we can somehow harness this energy, we could level up to a Type 3 civilization.
Level up. Isn't that how a lot of these things go? If we could only figure out how to capitalize on this, we could have unlimited energy.
No, dark energy's it, man. It's like the opposite of thermodynamics. It could break it. Because like you would have to have energy or something that pulls galaxies away from each other and accelerate.
It's like a reverse black hole.
Yeah, probably not. But
I have a theory in here that kind of talks about that.
A reverse black hole.
Not the volleyball incident. Oh my God.
The last one is the 2006 volleyball incident. The story goes like this. In 2006, during a high school girls volleyball game in the state near the two Dakota states in the U.S., North and South, there was a school shooting. Not much detail about the shooting itself is known, like where exactly it took place in the school, but it probably was at the game. Apparently, crime scene photos made their way onto the internet with the volleyball net still up.
So wait, you're telling me there's a shooting with no details? Like they don't...
Well, hang on.
How does that...
So...
Is this the theory?
Yeah, hang on. Which is an important detail, the volleyball net. And the entire game being a disturbing sight to say the least. The people who know about the shooting consider it to be worse than Columbine. But why would this be a conspiracy theory iceberg? Well, apparently the shooting never happened. How do we know this? There is no record of the event happening at all on the internet. No news articles, no news reports, no obituaries of the deceased, no record whatsoever. The only information about this is people talking about the situation on the message boards and shit like that. So a bunch of people make this up. Apparently in those states and the states surrounding them, a lot of people know about the incident and consider it to be a fact. When people who have heard of the incident are told it's not true, they wouldn't believe it unless they were to look it up on the internet themselves. But people don't do that often, because how often do you Google search mass shootings, Britain?
Never.
You do that a lot?
No.
So this is considered an example of the Mandela effect, or it's just one giant government cover-up.
So in the Dakotas, they're walking around like, hey, yeah, that
You remember that volleyball shooting?
incident.
Yeah,
And it never happened?
I guess so. The government just spiked it out of the public eye.
I see what you did there. It's a quick set.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about artificial aliens. So aliens have been summarized as being non-carbon based, right? No surprise. But this theory takes that and goes even further to state that aliens may not even be organically based in any way, shape, or form. How would that happen?
They're based on protoplasm.
It states that they may be so far apart from what we can understand and grasp, and that they may not even have a consciousness. The theory can go quickly down a rabbit hole and states that these aliens could be the construct of an ancient, technologically advanced society that sent those aliens into the cosmos. It's weird. Like, this theory went so far away, but the root of it is that the aliens are just artificial. Like, they're not even based out of anything.
Aliens are fake.
Yeah, but they're in our solar system now, so we'll have to ask them when they get here.
Fake.
We'll have to ask him before the probing starts. Okay. This theory is the secret Mongolian Empire theory. So the secret history is regarded as a piece of classic literature in both Mongolia and the rest of the world. It tells the tale of the semi-mythical genealogy of Genghis Khan, who in this text is referred to as Temujin. The legend states that a blue-gray wolf and a fallow doe begat the first Mongol named Bataka Khan. Roughly 11 generations later, we're introduced to a widow named Alan Gua, who was abandoned by her in-laws and left with her two sons, Buguntai and Beluguntai. She had 3 more sons with a supernatural glowing man who made his way through smoke hole at the top of her yurt.
Oh, the old smoke hole.
Yeah. Mr. Manhattan came down and gave her 3 more kids. Now, jumping to Genghis Khan, his life began with the kidnapping of his mother, Helan by his father Yesegwe, and it talks about his hard life with the murder of his father and the many wars and plots against him, where he ultimately gains his title of Genghis Khan in 1206.
Wait, his father was a Segway?
I guess so.
Nice.
So, essentially, it's just a mythical start to Genghis Khan's rule. So apparently they all started with a big wolf and a fallow doe. So that's cool. The other theory I found, which may tie into the subject, states that the Mongolian Empire just never existed. It was just kind of like a farce, and it was created to kind of like serve as a warning.
Stay away from Mongolia.
I don't know. It was kind of a weird one. And then last is the theory of non-space. So this one's pretty neat because we can talk about black holes for a minute. Remember I talked about black holes in a minute? A black hole, we all know, is a vacuum that sucks in anything around it and nothing can escape, including light. So this theory follows that same idea but expands just a little bit by saying that if we were to create a vacuum or a black hole of sorts and suck out all matter from an area, even gravity itself, to create an area of absolute nothingness, right? Could you do that? Probably not. So from what I've gathered at this point, with all the gravity then trying to fill that otherwise empty space, it would create such a crazy implosion that we can't even comprehend it. Like there's not even enough numbers and math to comprehend what would happen. And there are theories that state that this could create one of those cool infinite energy loops, because that we could harness that implosion as energy. As we talked about, another thing, if we could harness a way to create an infinite nothingness and then capitalize on the explosion of energy, infinite.
Wow.
Endless energy. That's non-space.
Wow.
It's science, bitches.
Science, bitch. All right,
You're
my
a
turn?
towel.
My turn?
Yeah.
All right. This one is New Zealand, the 8th continent.
What?
New Zealand is just that, part of an unknown continent now coined as Zealandia, and is not actually part of Australia. The reason as to why we haven't known this for such a long time is because 94% of its surface is underwater, except for New Zealand. In the past, during the Ice Age, this land would have been above water and potentially thriving with an advanced civilization. The conspiracy starts with, at some point, that there was an epic flood when the Earth started warming. One of such strong magnitude that it would have most certainly destroyed 99% of the native populace. This would have left a mark in the psyche of people that survived, and they would have wrote about it or passed it on through word of mouth through generation after generation. This would mean that this could have been the origin of Atlantis or Noah's Great Flood.
God damn.
The next one is Moon was built by aliens.
Hell yeah.
Our moon is weird. I don't know if you know this, but it's a huge anomaly in our solar system.
It's made of cheese.
One thing to point out is the proportion of the size of the moon and Earth. The moon, in theory, should only be around 40 miles in diameter. It also has no electromagnetic field, nor any atmosphere. Now, current science says this is because two planets collided early during Earth's formation, and the residual matter was shot out and it coalesced and made our moon.
You saying it was a pre-collision?
No, it was just
A pre-collide?
Yeah. Anyways, now this conspiracy is the extension of the prison Earth, meaning we are being watched by our alien overlords, with their base station being the moon.
Let's say the moon is a base station. That was in a previous tier.
Yeah. The theory points towards evidence like the moon's rocks were carbon dated to be older than the solar system itself. Also, during the Apollo 12 mission, they installed a seismograph, and when ran, the waves resounded for 8 minutes. And at the end, it sounded like a bell, meaning that sound could indicate the moon was hollow with a shell of mass at the center. This entire time, we thought Agartha is in the Earth, but maybe we have a hollow moon.
Holy shit. So you're saying that Hitler is in the center of the moon with his
Fighting
T-Rexes?
dinosaurs.
God damn.
Protein QRD-4151.
Excuse me?
This is the
Calm
next
down.
one, yeah.
Calm down.
I didn't find much on this. One source that I cannot corroborate is that it's a protein studied within the scientific community under secrecy.
What?
As for why, it may have the genetic information that harbors the soul.
Oh.
Or depending on how it's expressed, it can help a genetic user connect better to the paranormal, like Wi-Fi for the dead.
Wi-Fi for the dead?
Yeah.
Dude, we need that for the show.
You got a strong signal, bro? You got a weak signal.
Let me bust out my paranormal protein.
You got a 4K connection.
I'm gonna talk to this ghost without a Ouija board.
Your Wi-Fi sucks ass.
It sucks the ghost's ass. Let's talk about the 2012 Mayan prophecy shift. Remember the end of the world, Cleet? Back in 2012 when people were claiming the end of times because the Mayan calendar ended? Seemingly prophesizing the end of us all?
Yep, that was a bad day.
Well, seeing that it's 2023, we're still here, kicking it around, recording our podcast that's super badass. Well, this theory prophesizes that the Mayan calendar didn't actually signify the end of the world because the calendar simply stopped recording the dates at that time. So if you think of today, right, you buy a calendar, it's typically good for a year or two. When that calendar ends, what do?
Buy a new
You
calendar.
go buy a new fucking calendar, right? So people are stating that the Mayans just simply stopped recording time so far into the future, and 2012 was coincidentally the year that they stopped.
Yeah, they were just going to make a new one then.
Yeah, before they all just died.
Uh-huh.
But like they prophesized and built a calendar so far in advance. However, fun fact on that, due to how the calendars worked, it's not actually 2012 that they ended on. It would have actually been closer to 2028. So if
We
you
got
still
5 years, man.
Right. So if you still subscribe to this theory, you got 5 years away. So fucking live it up, people. Go drink a Big Bad Baptist. Why not? 12%.
I'll get you drunk.
It will. So, Cleet, this one you're going to have to Google something for me. Okay? Because I want to get your reaction. So, Aeromorphists. AEROMORPHISTS. Yes. And then go to images.
That's hot.
Do you think planes are sexy, Cleet?
Ever bang an F-35?
Yeah. Till you saw this. There's one, like, look at that one that's right in the middle. No, scroll down. A couple more right there. No, the one up. Right there. Look at that. Look right. This is a big old penis.
What is that?
It's a jet with a dick. So
That's a torpedo.
So this theory is Aeromorphous Psyops. So if you were to Google this, we're not going to put a picture on YouTube for very obvious reasons. But essentially, it's a portrayal of an aircraft, kind of like in an anime style, sexualizing the machinery. Like
Sexually attractive to F-35s.
Yeah, you never knew what you were attracted to.
It's a fat one.
That with the G-string that's just pushing the limits. That one with the big dick on it is still like,
Eating waffles.
that one's pregnant. All right, anyway. So essentially it sexualizes planes. Like Google it and you can see it. But it was kind of funny because I looked it up and it was like Transformers Gone Wild. But the theory, I guess, behind this one is that
Dude, they're banging.
I know. As by sexualizing the aircrafts like they did, it's supposed to encourage warfare and all that good stuff. Like, I guess that's the theory. Is like they're saying, hey, how do we get people into like spending money on jet planes and stuff? Well, let's throw some tits on them.
Goddamn war machine.
So, there you go. Aeromorphous Psyops. So have fun with that one. And then the last one, which kind of pisses me off because I don't think it's like I found the right thing, but it's ground heat dissipation. Ground heat dissipation is?
Yeah, it's when the sun, infrared energy hits the sun or the ground and then it radiates heat up.
I mean, kind of, but like that's not what I found. Essentially, the only thing I could find was that like if you were to take something that can capture heat and put it underground, that it could use the Earth's near constant subterranean temperature to heat the air and outer spaces around it for such things like residential and industrial uses. But like, why would that be on here as a theory? Like, people don't think that exists?
I don't know, man.
People don't think that you can put something warm in the ground and it will heat something like a fucking fire?
I don't know, man.
So, yeah, I'm a little annoyed this was on here. It's like, hey, we're at tier 7 and heat rises. False.
Fake.
So, anyway, moving on to yours now.
All right, this one is Disneyland Secret Tunnels.
That's not even a theory. That's real.
They
They exist.
Disneyland Secret tunnels are actually public knowledge at this point.
Yeah.
As the story goes, Walt was walking around Disneyland when he saw a cowboy in Tomorrowland, and that pissed him off.
He's like, hell no.
The obvious clash in themes and times periods upset him, and he wanted to ensure that a similar occurrence would never occur at his Florida park again. So when Walt Disney World was under construction and they dug out the massive Seven Seas Lagoon in front of the theme park, they used all that land to build the Magic Kingdom on top of, therefore placing it on a second floor. The first floor was the tunnel system, which was used for numerous activities like transporting merchandise and goods, miscellaneous facilities like electrical and plumbing,
And Mickey to get his rocks off.
and of course ensuring that cast members' costumes didn't clash with the areas they were in.
You get down to the tunnels and switch clothes. God damn it.
Damn it.
You're not Winnie the Pooh today, motherfucker.
People online, however, believe that a multinational corporation is evil and uses these tunnels like this as a front, and these tunnel networks are a much larger labyrinth than the public may realize.
I mean, here's the thing, though. Sadly, do you know how many kids go missing in Disneyland?
Hang on here. They believe that they are intertwined with the Illuminati and they perform rituals underground. It is also believed that these tunnels help facilitate human trafficking.
Told you.
One person online goes as far as saying that your kids on the rides are just a way for Disney to showcase your kids so they can auction them off to the highest bidder.
Good God, that's a little dark.
The next one is the Abaka alignment.
What?
This theory talks about how Egyptian pyramids were aligned in such ways as to match celestial bodies. Egyptians were big on sacred geometry, and the shapes had in themselves some type of intrinsic meaning. As the conspiracy goes, early in the days of the moon landings, Russia and the US were sending satellites to orbit the moon and gather data on its surface. When the probes started surveying the dark side of the moon, they saw some anomalies in what looked like ancient structures that mimicked the ancient Egypt's pyramid alignments. So again, this is just saying, there's a weird shit going on the moon. Okay, the third one is bacterial humanity.
Amen, brother.
This is one of those kooky environmentalist theories.
Cookie.
Do you know that for every human cell you have in your body, you have 9 microbial structures? Meaning that humans are 90% bacteria and only 10% human. Pretty interesting. Now, this theory says that we are like bacteria on the Earth, which is our host. The Earth has self-defense mechanisms like heating and cooling down, floods and earthquakes, in an attempt to eradicate us. However, over time, we become more resistant, and these measures are less and less effective. As time goes on, we will kill the Earth host and then promptly go extinct.
Okay, this one is freaking cool. Ancient glyphs on Saturn moons. You still looking at airplanes? I found your new favorite thing. Look at the balls on that one, dude.
There's a ball. They're fucking, dude. Did you see that penis? Oh my God.
What are you going to copy it for? What are you going to save it? No, you got to go back to the other one I was showing you.
Profile.
Go back to the other one I was going to show you.
It was great.
No, go back. I want to show you the other one.
This one's better.
No, scroll down. So, wait. No, it's up then. You went down.
Yeah, I saw the penis. Everyone saw the
No, right
penis,
there.
man. This one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've all seen that. This is better. This has a penis.
This is a penis.
Has put it in some
Okay.
fuel cell. thing.
Okay. Ancient glyphs on Saturn's moons. Saturn has roughly 53 named moons and 9 more that are still being studied. So, which in itself is really cool. But what makes this really interesting is that on 2 of Saturn's moons, there appear to be these gigantic looking markings on the surface that can't be explained. So we'll put pictures on YouTube. That'll be Cleet's job. But scientists have ruled out water systems because it wouldn't appear that water would be traveling in that way at all. They look like big glyphs, or even creepier, massive claw marks, as if some huge ancient creature decided to claw the shit out of the face of these moons. Like it's wild looking. So yeah, crazy ancient markings on moons that can't be described. It's creepy space shit.
Creepy shit.
The next one is the Charlie Project. And this one isn't actually a thing or a theory. It's real. And I didn't know about it until researching it, but it's really cool and beneficial. So the Charlie Project is a site that profiles over 14,000 cold case missing people reports, mainly from the United States. So the site doesn't actively investigate these cases, but mainly houses them. But it provides a place for missing people who may have been ignored or left out by the press to be seen. So in order to be listed on the site, the person does need to be missing for at least a year. So there are a few parameters. But the site was created by Megan Good back in 2004. The oldest cases on the site date back all the way to 1910, which is fucking wild. So the site does operate off of donations. So again, if you want to support it, absolutely you can visit their site and do just that, which is really cool. But Charlie Project is a place if you want to go and look, and you can like type in your area and see all the missing people, cold cases in your area. There's a school bus found peeling out of the neighborhood, and a bunch of kids screaming.
There's a school bus. The driver couldn't find any of the kids.
It just fucking vanished. I've never seen a school bus go so fast. Almost ran over an elderly lady. Okay. And the last one is the grain situation. So the grain situation refers to the idea that because we have produced and modified crops in order to feed the ever-growing population, it expands on what could be the potential fallout from such a process. The theory goes into the possible evolution of these crops, seeing as they are already resistant to most everything like insects and dehydration and droughts, etc. So what's going to stop them from becoming some sort of super grain that would end up wiping everything out in its growing stages? Theorists believe that one such super grain could expand and dominate not only its own ecosystem, but those ecosystems around it until there's nothing left. So super grain could cause extinction to a degree in its path to domination.
That's why I only eat meat.
You don't think that they produce meat? So that's my 3.
All right. This one is Earth is bigger than the sun.
Right.
This is tied to the flat Earth theory. This is where the whole scientific community globally is set on lying to the public at large. In this base case scenario, they are desperate at trying to convince us the sun is bigger than the Earth. It is a giant psyop. People point out incorrectly that why would the Earth be able to do a total solar eclipse if not for the fact that the Earth is bigger than the sun? As to why the governments and the scientific community have come together on the same goal as to this
fact,
I don't know. Satan, maybe?
Probably.
I have no fucking clue. Let us know in the comment sections. All right, the next one is Ashtar High Command, spelled with a K. So this one is just another alien cult. The lore here is expansive, so I'm just going to read you something out of context said by someone who claimed an alien channeled thoughts into their puny human head.
Jesus. Lord.
Dear ones, my name is Ashtar. I am an etheric being from many, many planets, stars, and incarnations. However, for billions of years, I've taken on one project, the project of populating as many planets with starseed, and the project of bringing those planets through evolution. Earth is not the only one. Still, it was myself, among others, who brought life to Earth in the very beginning, and did this as did others, mainly through the intention and the thought process of creation relative to the human being. Now, because the Earth is out of balance, and because I have an interest in the people, I've come to assist at this time to see her through the evolution into the 5th dimension. And so, I come as a shepherd, gathering together his sheep safely, carrying the ones who hurt, just being there for all of them, finding the strays and bringing them together.
Jesus Christ.
This is my task at this time. Relative to Earth, Ashtar means shepherd, and I am Ashtar, shepherd of the Earth. I wish to bring your awareness another shepherd
By the name of Jesus Christ.
You know him very well. His name is Jesus. Jesus was an incarnation of the Earth, of a very high being known as those of the light of Sandania. This one, of course, you all know personally. He is the one whom you pray, Jesus.
Amen. Wow.
Yeah, I don't know, just
Wow.
another alien cult, so yeah, look it up.
I wondered where you went for a second there.
I like to troll. All right, the last one is oceans don't exist. You part of the Dry Earth Society?
Sure, why not?
That's a spin-off of the Flat Earth Society.
Sure, why not?
So I found nothing on this topic at all, so I can only recklessly speculate. Perhaps the Earth is flat, and we are at the center. The twist is that the world is much bigger than we have been told, and inhabited by many other intelligent species. In fact,
Cryptozoology advanced.
we were put in the middle of this for a reason, to create products for these species of people who live past the oceans. So these oceans are really just lakes to other civilizations that are said to exist. And so we don't wander and discover them and see a city full of lizard people wearing the Pradas and purses and other things that they may purchase from us. We're just like slave labor.
Minky fur coats.
Yeah. Gucci. Everyone loves the Gucci.
Versace. Whoever thought you. Well, goddamn.
That's it.
That's real. Okay. Geometric algorithmic shortcuts. This one goes way the fuck over my head, so we're going to give it the old college try. Basically, a geometric algorithm was designed to solve geometric problems. Go figure. They require very in-depth knowledge of mathematics such as combinatorics, topology, algebra, differential geometry, and etc. What I could gather on this theory in the shortcuts portion is in the fact that certain patterns will appear more and more often. One of the examples is when you're detailing how energy will react in a form of vacuum, it comes out to reference and look like an ellipses shape, which theorists state is why it's used as the symbol of infinity, or that there is always something more.
Wow.
So there's a shortcut that when you're explaining energy in a vacuum creates an ellipses. Now there's also like basically meaning that when you see shapes in this sort of shortcut, it kind of details a larger meaning, which we'll kind of reference here in another minute. But the next one is Malarai di Spiral, which is the spiral. So this theory spirals around the author and artwork of Friedensreich Hunderswasser.
I had a beer from him once.
Right? So he had a belief that the spiral lies at the very point where inanimate matter is transformed into life, and that our whole life proceeds in spirals. Thinking of our Earth, we move in circles but never come back to the exact same point. He also believed that the spiral isn't supposed to be geometric, but rather consists of swellings and lines that become thinner and thicker as it flows around obstacles in its path. It's supposed to represent life and death in both directions, starting from the center, meaning birth and growth and getting bigger and bigger, diluting into infinite space, eventually dying off like a wave into calm waters. Some of the artwork looks pretty damn cool and trippy. I'm sure Cleet can put some on YouTube, but it's just, he feels like the spiral's like the source of life. And he even went on to say that, like, obviously spirals can be demonic, and if you look into a spiral, you can go crazy, like the hypnotic, mind illusory stuff.
Dude, we're just going to do F-35s all the way down.
Oh, yeah. And then the last one is Bioma over Genoma, which you've kind of already covered to a degree. This theory states that the bacteria in our body may ultimately be more important than our own genes. It's been theorized and studied for a bit, so it's not really a new theory, but our bodies have a lot of bacteria cells. Some theorists state that, we have more bacteria than human cells, which, as we know, bacteria in our bodies helps fend off diseases and illnesses and, all that fun stuff. But theories go into the fact that when children are kept away from bacteria and their bodies aren't able to take them in, they don't really build immunities and they develop diseases later in life, which is not really surprising. But the theory here is that, there's bacteria and it may be more powerful than our genes.
Some powerful stuff. All right, this one is hive mind induction. This theory is about how humans have always been progressing towards a hive mind. We just don't know it. Joe Rogan has asked us on his podcast, why do we keep improving technology? And where is this leading us to? The answer could be something similar to what Elon Musk has dubbed the neural link, which once connected, you are part of a larger human consciousness, as you are literally connecting your brain to the internet. After you put the chip in your brain, will you retain your humanity? Or will you be part of a collective where individual thought is suppressed and you become part of a cog in a greater machine?
God damn. I hope I become one of those
sex
jet
bots.
planes. It's funny though, because the episode where Elon was on Joe Rogan's podcast and he smoked a joint, and then later he was asked by someone else, "Have you ever smoked?" He's like, "I've never smoked." It was just funny.
The next one is field consciousness. This theory believes that consciousness comes from the mind-body dualism, meaning that consciousness is separate from matter. This can be derived from what we call the soul, or through quantum mechanics, where particles don't have a specific shape or location. John Wheeler, a scientist and philosopher, stated that every piece of matter contains a bit of consciousness, which is absorbed from the proto-consciousness field. The human observation is also necessary to this process. This theory may also explain why certain thoughts and ideas are proliferated around the world at the same time. Ideas like the telephone were created by two people and were sent to the patent office merely hours within each other. So, we're all just drawing our consciousness from the same body of knowledge. And the last one I'll cover is chaos banking. This was a very difficult thing. I couldn't find fucking anything on here. So I had to go to Wendigoon, and it said that this is a form, and he said that this is a form of currency from some super civilization in the future. After they transcended material currency and energy, they moved to anomaly somehow, which sounds like bullshit. Whatever that means, he insinuates that they moved to the past to mine these anomalous events. Those strange moments that we call synchronicity is just some future dick space miner just taking some currency right off of your balls.
Wow.
Makes sense? I don't fucking know.
Sure. What makes sense anymore? All right. The last 4 of Tier 7. Starting off with Doom Ecology. Doom Ecology references the idea that we are killing the Earth.
Hell yeah.
And in doing so, we have sped up this process in order to wipe us out even faster to move on to the next cycle, right? So when you think of this accelerationism, the belief at the core is that we obviously can't make any forward progress as we're killing the planet. Like, obviously, the more and more we do, we're just kind of rapidly killing the planet. So the thought here is like, why don't we just kill it quicker so that we can get to the mass extinction event, and then we can start making forward progress?
That makes 100% sense.
Yeah. So wipe us out real quick so that we can start rebuilding after we're gone. This next one, Kim or Chim in real life, it's Chim. It's interesting because this revolves around the video game series, The Elder Scrolls, which is actually a really good video game series. So in the game, essentially, it's a form of spiritual practice, which basically combines self and God. So it's one of those other world, other self, other being sort of thing where you're God, essentially, whatever. So it's a video game, so take that as you will. But this theory states that this can be done in real life. And according to one Reddit thread, one can achieve this phenomena by wearing dark clothing and growing out the hair on your face.
That's what I do.
So, Cleet, I am God. I am God.
Dark clothing. You have more of a scraggly beard.
Dude, look at your beard and talk to me about it.
Yeah, I have a more scraggly beard. That's what I said.
But mine's a better beard.
Yeah, I didn't
All
say
the
that.
hair.
I didn't say that. I said you have to have a scraggly beard.
Oh, you're
and
changing the rules.
And then you started to have an argument with me about a pretense I already set up.
So you're
not even listening to what I say.
What I say?
It means what I say.
I'm sad.
I'm so fucking sad.
Cash me outside. Okay, and then this next one was kind of weird. Tamoki Umeya. So Tamoki is a prolific Japanese author who I could find little to nothing on. But essentially, he claims to be able to channel and make contact with several extraterrestrial bodies and spirits.
Does he talk to Godzilla?
Probably. Oh, God, Cleet.
What's wrong with him?
Japanese artist talking to Godzilla.
Please stay away from Japan.
Put the fucking 2 and 2 together, dude. And I just commented on it like lackluster.
Quit hurting Japan.
Godzilla, go away! The bad guys. God damn it, Cleet. And I was like, I just fell for it too. I'm like, oh, probably. Not realizing. So his writings go on to discuss.
Okay, sorry. We gotta finish. I can't stop.
His writings go on to discuss the changes in our history due to aliens and spirits. So basically, he's a modern version of a channel for spirits. So that's all I could find on this one. So there you go. And then last but not least is nuclear grid theory. So this theory plays off the connection of important sacred sites like Stonehenge, the pyramids, and even the Great Wall of China. So they're said to be connected via a form of earth energy. Even more interesting, if you were to plot these sites on a map, you would notice that many of them can be connected by straight lines. These lines are known as ley lines and are the center of this theory, as theorists state that these structures may have been purposefully built on these plots by a form of ancient civilization to map out the Earth's energies. To even further expand on this theory, it's said that we have opened another form of ley lines with the nuclear strikes at the end of World War II, via the massive expanse of energy. What makes this section of ley lines different is the rumored sightings and occurrences that have happened at these points. So they're not like structures, but more events. Everything from UFO sightings to supernatural or cryptid sightings. So the belief lies in the fact that we have opened a door to another form of reality in which all these unexplainable things exist and can be interwoven with the current ley lines of our planet.
Where unspeakable horrors come out from, where Cthulhu will rise from the depths of the ocean to murder us all.
Right. So if you pull up ley lines, obviously every point will map either an ancient structure or a supernatural occurrence sighting. So that's it. But that wraps up tier 7.
Only 8, 9, and 10 to go.
8, 9 is 0.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
It's tier 0.
Fuck.
Which we're getting to really, really quickly. Not. But that wraps us up for the Icebreaker tier 7. Thank you very much for joining. And thank you for those who are subscribing to us on Buzzsprout, the Conklin family, Haley and Lou. If you want to subscribe to us via Buzzsprout, there are several tiers available. Again, as always, our show will remain free to those who want to listen. But if you want to support us to help us get more information and more content, just to further expand our show, you can definitely do so. We appreciate every dollar that comes to us. So thank you very much, and we will post the link in the description.
And if you're listening to us on YouTube, please like, share, and subscribe, as it really helps us get us out there. And as always, thank you for entering the abyss.
Until next time.